This is, of course, the Rubin Report. We're going to go straight into Rubin Report. I'm reading Dave's book on the channel Hannah and Jake, which you should check out if you haven't, because that's where we do a lot of content. If you're missing many contents if you've never been there. I'm very surprised because most people know me from that. But if you don't know, you should. Now you do. We're reading "Don't Burn This Book" by Dave Rubin. It's really, really bad. He's trash. So he also has a channel, Rubin Report, and he is loaded up with all sorts of guesties. And this guest, John Bachman, says, "Will Dems really abolish the Electoral College? They're worried about it. We should do it. Let's talk about it. Let's see. All right, scaremongering, maybe."
I try to take stock in the fact that we do have the most divided Congress basically we've ever had in our history, almost as evenly split as it could be in the House and the Senate.
Thanks
and
for
for
subscribing,
somebody
man.
like
Appreciate
Kamala Harris, who is the deciding
Why do they always say her name wrong? It's Kamala. I don't even like her. Kamala.
vote, the tiebreaker in the Senate, she has an
You know, y'all, from when Hannah was on the line, what about when I was on the line? What about that? Huh? What about when I was? I went first. Slow. Yeah, his tie looks like shit. It looks like he's not wearing bottoms. In fact, I guarantee he's not wearing bottoms. He's only wearing this.
enormous amount of responsibility, and I think and I hope that she will weigh that responsibly because it's going to be on her shoulders. You know, they're talking about eliminating the Electoral College now. That's their big thing. And does she really want that on their record? You know, eliminating all the history and all the positive things that has done to thwart the tyranny of the masses, the things that could have, you know, if it weren't for the Electoral College, slavery would have existed probably much longer. Dave.
If it weren't for the Electoral College, slavery would have existed much longer. So the democracy, he called democracy the tyranny of the masses. So the popular vote at the state level is fine. Georgia went blue. It's fine at the state level. But then when people vote federally, it's not fine? Why?
Her ramble was just
Wouldn't it make more sense to have more democracy? Okay, all right. Is it Blassies? Thanks for following. Appreciate that. It's okay. So I guess we're not fans of democracy or voting for people that we like. By the way, tyranny of the masses is just popular vote. It's just whatever's most popular. Do you know why they call it popular? Because the populace likes a thing more than they don't like it. Popular. It's literally just, hey, do you have a popular idea? If so, we can vote on that. Like that means more people are happier. The problem with Trump's presidency is fewer people were happy than those that were happy. Like fewer people were unhappy. Like what? Like what? We shouldn't let just a few people dictate what the country wants. Only Republicans say this, by the way, because they know they're in the minority. And they would have to, shockingly, have opinions that people liked to win elections, which is strange. Strange and uncharted territory for a Republican. Have an idea that many people like, and they'll vote for you. That's pretty much the whole thing. That's loud as fuck. That's so loud. Jesus.
Isn't that actually the cool part? That it's like there are all these networks popping up, you know, right-leaning or conservative-leaning networks, and I don't sense that, although obviously at some level there's competition, there's only so many ad dollars to go around or whatever it might be. But
of course he's thinking about ad dollars and not views, right? That's how he defines competition. Ad dollars. He's already thinking about the money. Yep. Grifter.
It's like there's The Blaze, there's Daily Wire, there's Newsmax, there's more and more, there's independent guys, there's the...
Oh, I'm sorry. Did you call yourself a right-wing conservative there with that little point-to-self action?
There's more and more, there's independent guys.
Independent guys. Oh, weird. Interesting. Strange. Wow. Okay.
And it's like everyone's kind of helping everybody. I go on everybody's shows. I'm happy to promote everybody.
Come on my show, Dave. Do it. Do it, coward. Do it. Come on my show, Dave. I'll buy you a pizza. Do it, Dave. Do it, Dave. Do it. Dave, do it. Do it. Come on my show, Dave. No? Okay. Do it.
And it's like, man, we just need more and more. If I find a new voice that's good, I'm like, man, come with me.
Right,
come with me on this adventure.
I'm with you 100%, Dave. And the way I kind of look at this, and forgive me because I have some Southeastern Conference bias here. You know, congratulations to Alabama and everything. I'm a Georgia grad, but I consider conservative media almost like the SEC, like the elite of the media. And you know, you may be Alabama and I'm Georgia here, but when it comes, we might compete in our league. But when the time is right, when it really matters, like
that was a football reference, chat. So if you don't understand what he just said because you're a big dweeb. The SEC is a Southeastern Conference. It consists of several different schools that compete in athletics, specifically in this case, football. Alabama is a good football team. He likes Georgia. That's the whole reference. I hope that helped in some way. You're big dweeb. I push you into the locker, metaphorically. I love you.
On election night, you know, we're going to be in position to really have the best ideas because we compete with our ideas. And I think, you know, in the long term, you know, you ask, you know, people of a certain age are more conservatives, you know, at the later end of your lifespan than the younger folks. It's because conservative ideas eventually do win out.
No, they don't. They don't win ever. Name a conservative idea that has stood the test of time. Name one. Go ahead. Pick one. Literally anything. Pick one. That's never been moved to the left. It's not a thing. It's not a thing. Conservative laws that... What? Conservative laws that haven't moved less? You just say racism. First of all, you're wrong. But less people are racist today than they were yesterday. But like, we're talking about laws, of course. No, everything keeps moving to the left. It's just left. It keeps moving left. Military spending. We were a military state. Like what? No, it's not more conservative. If you think it's more conservative now than it was, you need to read more books because you're wrong. Capitalism. Capitalism has been more conservative over time. Amelia, that's a really bad take. I have workers' rights. Oh, really? Your child isn't working in a machine shop at 6 years old because he has tiny hands and he can fit his hands between the presses? Oh, weird. It moved left. Yeah, no, you're all wrong. Anytime you try to say something has stayed conservative, it didn't. It might be shitty still, but it's not staying conservative. And over the test of time, as you look back across history in the past, everything always moves left. Every time. Always. Forever. It literally does. At least I'm trying. I mean, sure. But were you guys trying every time? Because every time I see something over here, what about gun laws? What are you talking about? We have more gun restrictions than we did when it first started? What? What? Interracial marriage is more conservative than it was in the past? You're memeing. You're memeing. Get out of here. Get out of here with your memes. Come on, guys. Gun laws are moving left. Come on! Everything moves left. Always and forever. Because we're fucking winners, chat. We're goddamn winners. What's it like to be a winner? I called you dweebs earlier. Guess what? Not as dweeby as a conservative. Imagine being a conservative dweeb. Yikes. Can't relate to that. You guys are fucking chads. You might be the dweebiest motherfucker you can think of. You're still a fucking chad. You are winning You are winning every day. You just won again. You just won again. There's going to be new rollouts of vast progressive policies being rolled out in the first 100 days of the Biden presidency who isn't even a progressive. Because you are a winner. Because you keep winning. You don't even when we lose, we win. We're fucking winners. Religious tax laws? What? No. That's not more conservative either. Good job, Chads.
Over time, when you have the advantage of perspective and longevity and history to look back on, you realize that the things that got us here to where we are as a country have worked. And most of those things, whether it's federalism or, checks and balances, those kind of old school ideas, it's really conservatives that have continued to talk about those things and really defend those principles throughout history.
Yeah. Conservatives are for checks and balances. Checks and balances in the checks that they sign and are given, and the balances of their bank accounts, of course. They don't actually mean like how the political system works, because if they did, they wouldn't have written and supported the Patriot Act. Just saying. So, tossing that out there. I like freedom unless, it affects my bottom line. Okay, dick. KX, thanks for following.
And it's very exciting because we have those things for another 7 days.
Well, I honestly think, this is scary for a lot of folks here, but...
Oh, fucking cry about it. Do it.
I'm reminded of many times in history when we've talked about how bad things could be. I try to take stock in the fact that we do have the most divided Congress basically we've ever had in our history, almost as evenly split as it could be in the House and the Senate. And for somebody like Kamala Harris, who is the deciding vote, the tiebreaker in the Senate, she has an enormous amount of responsibility. And I think, and I hope, that she will weigh that responsibly because it's going to be on her shoulders. They're talking about eliminating the Electoral College now. That's their big thing.
Let's talk about it.
And does she really want that on their record?
Let's talk about it.
Eliminating all the history and all the positive things that has done.
Yeah, definitely. You know what else had a lot of positive outcomes? Trepanning. You guys remember trepanning? Crack a little hole in someone's skull, keep their brain from bleeding and shit. Yeah, we don't necessarily do that like that anymore. You sort of grab a chisel and go ding 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 ding. Bloodletting for fevers. Help some people, probably. We don't do that anymore. Yeah, you don't get to keep your fucking history for no reason. Oh, something worked back in the day. Okay, it's irrelevant now. It's like saying why you need a microwave? I got this fire pit. Horse and buggy has been working the whole time. We won the war. We won the Great War when most people had horses and buggies. What say you, sir? I say cars are faster. We beat the Nazis with biplanes. It wasn't biplanes, but prop planes, dropping bombs. Yeah, now we have fucking jets. Yeah, we progressed. We got better. And then we made the military-industrial complex. I'll just balance my humors now, yeah. Vaccines, true. Shout out to bisexual pilots. Absolutely. We need more bisexual military members. That's really what it is. Fucking bi boss instead of girl boss. Yeah. Where did I put my leeches? Absolutely right. That's how it works. That's how it works. This guy's fucking stupid. My Nokia still works. Yeah, get an iPhone. Christ.
To thwart the tyranny of the masses, the things that could have, if it weren't for the Electoral College, slavery would have existed probably much longer. Dave. So these.
Okay. No. Not true. It's not true. Blech. In fact, the Electoral College might have kept it around longer. Let's see. Wah, wah, wah. Let's see it. Let's see it. Oh, that's weird. Oh, that's weird. Abraham Lincoln. Abraham Lincoln. He won the popular vote by 1 million votes. Oh. 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 Wait. Oh. Wait. Oh. Yeah. Oh. Well, I guess just that guy. But he won the popular vote by 700,000 votes or something like that. Wait. 500,000 votes. He won that. He won the thing. But you know what I'm saying? Know what I'm saying? I guess because there was 4 people running because we had better politics back then. Weird. Weird. Cool. Cool. Sure. All right. Election of 1864. Where? Election of 1864. He won the popular vote again. It's like he would have won both ways. And it had nothing to do with the Electoral College. You suck. You're fucking shitty. You fucking suck. Yeah. So anyway, Electoral College didn't prevent slavery or anything like from being abolished. I don't. That is Queen. Yeah, that was Queen. Abolish the Electoral College by Queen. It's a B-side. It's a B-side. Yeah.
These are the things they want to tear down. We know it's kind of symbolic at this point. And I'm really hopeful, while at the same time skeptical, that they actually want to do this stuff because they know, based on what happened, like, the Supreme Court, for example, that there are unintended consequences, and it usually comes back to bite them in the ass.
Okay, so here's some things that I want. All right, here's some things that I want. Washington, D.C., Puerto Rico, statehood. Boom. Statehood. Let's fucking go. All right? Get rid of the Electoral College. Fuck that shit. Fuck that shit. Have ranked choice voting, okay? Have ranked choice voting. That'll help to topple the two-party system. Ranked choice voting is much more democratic and obviously much more in tune with the way things should work. If you don't know how ranked choice voting works, maybe we can talk about that at some point. And we have before, we get the art out, we do paint. It's a big deal. We should also, on top of that, we should expand the Supreme Court. 100%. Definitely true. Because not only because there was a situation where Donald Trump stacked the courts, and there was meddling in that, but also because we need more voices on that court. In my professional opinion, how this should work, by the way, we should also incur, I think, a decade term limit. What do you think? A decade term limit? And you can serve 2 terms on Supreme Court. What do you think? 20 total years? Seems reasonable. Get in when you're 50, leave when you're 70. That seems reasonable. We can't abolish the Supreme Court. You need a top court in the land. It would be, if you abolish the Supreme Court, the 9th Circuit Court would be the highest court in the land, and it would effectively be the Supreme Court. We're a land of laws, and that's how it works, and that's not a good idea. Abolishing the Supreme Court is a poo-poo idea, an idea of poo-poo, because you don't understand it. And that's okay. You don't have to understand it. I'm here to tell you how to be correct about this, okay? A decade, 7 years, somewhere in there. I don't want it to coincide with presidential elections, and I think 10 years because you'll definitely have a new president no matter what, right? There's no way you could have a president, I guess unless you have a Donald Trump situation where they lose their second election and they run a third or something. I guess that could happen, but it's highly unlikely that you're going to have the president be there that confirmed you, right? And then after that point, if your term's up, the president that is in charge of the executive office gets to determine. So you're only rotating out one every time, unless one dies, in which case that should go to a vote. By the people. By the people, I say. Have them make arguments and be like, okay, these are things, this is how I would rule on this situation. This is how I'd rule in this situation. This is what I think about Roe v. Wade. This is what I think about gun laws. This is what I think about free speech. This is what I think about whatever. Just go down the Bill of Rights even. I don't care how it works out. These people are voted in by human people and then confirmed by the president, right? Well, and you know how elections work. So that's how it should work, really. You could start with the oldest. Who's the oldest member on the court? I believe it's that old white guy. Supreme Court members. Let's do it. Let's talk about this for a second. The current members of the Supreme Court. So we got, how old are you? How old are you? Well, you were born in 48. It was Breyer. Breyer's definitely the oldest. He was born in 38. So he's up first. He's up first. And I believe he's even a lefty, right? Isn't he more of a Democrat? Either way, it really is irrelevant. Whoever it is, I think Clarence Thomas is the second oldest. So up first, Stephen Breyer. That happens this year. Okay, that happens this year. Okay, immediately, and then you have in I don't know every 10 years, and there's. Well, actually, the term limit should be however many members we have, really. So if we go to 11, make it 11 years. So every time you get you get a new member, you're probably kicking one out after that, right? So 11 years, I'm fine with that. Because we have 9 now. So you start with him. Next year we do the next oldest. Next year we do the oldest. After that, then the oldest, then the oldest. And by the time we get to it, it'll just be whoever got voted in at that time, right? Yeah. So I'm fine with that. That seems how to work it out. Make sure the oldest are leaving first, and then after that, it's irrespective of age. It matters on when you got voted in. So 11 years from now, whoever the new justice is, that got voted back in, because let's be real, we're not bringing this guy back for another 11 years. We're not bringing Clarence. If Clarence Thomas survives another 11 years, I will be incredibly surprised, right? So this is like kind of the way to do it. I think that's really the best way to do it. We can't let Supreme Court justices just sit here for 30 fucking years. You know what I mean? He took a seat in 1991, literally 30 years. Like, that's too much. That's too much time for one person to have judicial opinions that are contemporary with the people that he works under. That's the big difference. Now, abolishing it is stupid. Because we need a court to decide constitutional law. That's why you have a constitution. If you don't have a Supreme Court, if you just go abolish the Supreme Court, okay, well then the circuit courts are going to be the highest courts in the land, probably the Ninth Circuit, which is the next highest up, I believe, in court hierarchy. So I mean, like abolishing the court is just it's a lowbrow take. Have higher brows, get bigger brows, move them upward. Okay, bigger brow takes. We can do this. Okay? You do need a judicial system. Of course we do. Because you have laws and you need to make sure that they are maintained in a certain way. You need to make sure that in certain cases, because you never know what's going to go up. This is why we have case law. Case law is important because the gay cake thing is a great example of why we need case law, right? So it didn't say that you can avoid serving gay people. What it said is you can't be compelled to make art on something that you find you don't want to make art about, right? Which is kind of actually a really good thing because it helps you as well. Same thing with religious liberties, right? You can't be fired because you're an atheist. You also can't be fired because you're a Christian. That's fine. It works both ways. I'm 100% fine with that. Same thing with civil liberties and you know, civil rights. Can't be fired for being gay or trans or black or whatever. You also can't be harassed for those things. Same thing. So this is why you need specific cases, because sometimes there is a gray area. Gay cake, perfect example of gray area, where it was definitely a situation where he was being prejudicial and bigoted against gay people. But that's not what he argued. What he argued was specifically that he didn't want to make art. So what happens? He's not going to get penalized except socially, which is good. Social penalties are acceptable and fine and should happen. Now, I don't think, again, this is the thing now. They're like, you're going to take his livelihood away from him. First of all, I don't think your livelihood should be tied to your survival. I'm a lefty. So I don't think that guy should die because he happens to be a homophobe. But I do think that guy could learn a lot from the social implications of being a homophobe, right? But I also don't believe that anyone should be compelled to do a thing. So it turned out to be a decent law. We didn't get the justice we wanted for that gay couple that you know, had to feel a certain way because this guy was a bigot. But that said, you know, they got celebrated as you know, like they were vindicated a lot in the social consciousness, right? And we understand that like the bigotry and stuff that ensued is not okay. So it's yeah, it was always a red herring, but that said, the red herring is the only thing that got judiciated, right? So even though it was a red herring, it just solidified even further the protections that we should have under the Constitution, and I agree with that. So yeah. If I didn't have to survive on part-time work, I could afford to be more selective about the businesses I purchase from. Exactly. Yeah, this is perfect. And it's all, you can also be more selective about the work. You also don't have to work. You can also just pursue education or not do anything. And that's fine too. We need to get away from the idea that your output has some bearing on your quality as a human being. These are all things that tie back into this conversation broadly about this because of how voting should work, really.
Yeah, listen, I hope you're right. I do hope you're right, but I actually think they want to do absolutely everything that they say they want to do. And the Electoral College stuff, the pack in the court stuff, whether it's post-impeachment of Trump, like just whatever crazy bananas thing someone puts up there, I think they want to do all of it.
It's not crazy to do post-impeachment, by the way, or bananas. Dave Rubin just doesn't understand things. Like, he literally just doesn't understand stuff.
Do you see any reason to think, is there anything in the movement right now that comes up as like a roadblock for you, that they're like, oh, well, maybe they'll turn around now? I mean, they are seeing the cliff over there. I mean, maybe this one, you think?
Well, I had hoped so. I had Mark Halpern on my show today, kind of looking at the public opinion polling available on this impeachment issue is pretty weak right now, but there are polls out there that showed us the same thing as it showed us last time when they were talking about impeachment. The country's evenly divided on this, and I still believe in
It's not evenly divided. It's not evenly divided. Donald Trump has about 44% support, which is not what even is. That's less than even. Tossing that out there. Also in Congress, it's not even. They're against Donald Trump. There's a good. Do not be surprised. There is a good possibility this impeachment actually works. There's a good. It could go the other way, but they have Republican support on this. So, tossing that out there. Not all Republicans, obviously, but they have Republicans supporting this.
The collective, kind of power of the individual, of course, but, the American public, too. And there were a lot of promises made about $2,000 stimulus checks from the Democrats, especially those who recently won those seats in Georgia. And if they fail to deliver on that, I think there's going to be enormous blowback from this country, again, because they're being disingenuous about their true motives. And the American public is a lot smarter than I think Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer and Joe Biden and Kamala Harris give them credit for.
This is nothing to do with intelligence here. It's mostly ethics. Wait. The official Dave Rubin fan subreddit is now anti-Dave because the people who made it realize they hate him? Wow. That's amazing. Why is Dave Rubin talking to John Mulaney doing a well-dressed version of his Oh Hello character? I don't know.
And again, that's why I'm optimistic still at the end of the day, Dave, is because we still have, 75 million people in this country who appear, sane. And you know which side I'm talking about, which voted. And again, I don't want to pretend like I'm a partisan here.
You're a partisan? What are you talking about? What? I don't want to call everyone who's not on the right insane, but I am. Like, what? What?
But when you look at the comparison, it's a stark contrast, and it's hard for me to see how people went the other way sometimes. But again, that's just my opinion, I guess.
I'll talk to you anytime you want, John Bachman. Hey, this is my official invitation for John Bachman from Newsmax, I guess. Let's have a chit-chat anytime, John, you fuck. I would happily have a conversation with you. You might say, but you're in a corn suit, sir. Yeah, and I will still very much take you seriously and destroy you in a fucking mascot corn suit. I know, it's pretty nuts. It's okay. You don't look like it. I don't know that you know how to dress yourself either, so it's okay. We're on similar footing. If I have to say so, we're on similar footing.
I guess I can say that here in this forum.
No, well, I'm curious though, how do you balance that on a day-to-day basis? Like when I do your show, it's pretty obvious to me that you're you are a professional newsman. Do you consider yourself a traditional journalist still?
No,
because it's obvious to me that you have opinions and you're not afraid to say them, but you are presenting news.
I think there's almost an expectation now from the audience not to give your opinion, but to be honest about where you're coming from. And I always talk about...
That's the same thing. That's the same thing. Don't give me your opinion, just be honest where you're coming from. Literally the same thing.
This isn't not necessarily my opinion, it's more or less my perspective.
Holy fuck. This isn't my opinion, it's just my perspective. That's the same thing! I don't think that American people are stupid, but I'm going to use synonyms for things and hope they think they're not that. Okay, it's the same thing. Jesus.
You know, giving people some insight on where I'm coming from. You know, I grew up in the Deep South, but my parents are from the Northeast. I consider myself a first-generation Southerner. You know, even growing up in the 80s and 90s, Catholic in the Deep South with Northern parents.
This guy has said the N-word multiple times. Catholic in the South. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
You'd have friends, and they'd be somewhat skeptical of, you know, are you a carpetbag? What's going on here? That type of thing. But again, you know, it's a diverse kind of background to have. And
my white upbringing, it's diverse because we moved south near other white people. Wow.
A different way of thinking at things, and that's kind of just always shaped my perspectives. But, you know, people expect you to kind of be honest with them where you're coming from on these things. So I like to say I do two things here. I'm going to lay out the facts for you, and then I'm going to tell you why, specifically, we chose those set of facts, because...
That's opinions. That's what opinions are. Don't get me wrong, I'm an opinion show. Hey, but I'm not going to lie to you and pretend I'm not that. These are my opinions. The best part about my opinions, I'm correct! Probably. If I'm wrong, I'll probably change my opinion. But I'm probably correct! When do I choose facts? I have never done that. I don't think I'm capable of that because there's only one fact. Like facts are just either real or they're not facts. So, yeah. Yeah. But it is an opinion show. And my opinion is this guy's a fucking douchebag. That's a true fact, though.
I have a limited time for my show, so there are only so many facts I can provide in there. And there are other news outlets that focus on other facts. But these are the facts that I think are the most important facts. And those facts come, you know, based on my history, where I grew up, what I believe, the books I'm reading, the movies I'm watching.
What I believe, the books I'm reading, these are your opinions.
And so I do try to give the audience insight on those things so they have kind of perspective on where my perspective is coming from. And
so they can form opinions about your opinions, yeah.
That, you know, I talk about this with my college journalism professor all the time, David Hazinski, who used to work at NBC News. He is admittedly a liberal, and we argue about politics all the time. But when it comes to the practice of journalism, you know, the rules are still the same at the end of the day. Trust your sources. Give attribution to where your information comes from. Only choose sources that are really trustworthy.
Like Newsmax, a trustworthy news source.
Tell people the truth, what has happened, you know, and don't speculate too much, and you stay within those lines. It's not hard. I mean, it is hard. It's difficult, but you can do both, Dave. Give people the facts. Be honest with them about what's going to happen. You know, don't be afraid to call him the president-elect, when you know it's going to upset the audience, because they might be upset with you for a day or two, and some people might change the channel. But come January 20th, when I was honest with the audience about what, you know, historically and constitutionally the limits were for what actually were going to happen, and that, you know, Linwood might not be right, long term, when you are right, you know, they gravitate back towards you, and they
Oh, he's a right winger, but not Linwood crazy right winger. Oh, okay. So that makes him better. That makes him center. If you're not crazy like Linwood, if you're not saying that fucking Q is real, then you're trustworthy. That's how facts work. That's journalism, friend.
respect you
Hell yeah.
for being honest with them. And, you know, that's what you're able to do with your audience. That is what I hope the internet still provides. You know, you're still on YouTube. Thank God for that.
Sorry, I'm an atheist. And that made my skin burn because I'm a demon worshiper. That's how that works. That's how that works. I'm a that's basically holy water to me. I'm like a vampire. It's a fact. Actually, I just find it cringy, to be totally honest. I'm not a regular righty. I'm a cool righty. Yeah, he's a hello fellow kids righty. Yeah. Hey teens, you need a bum a cig? Need a bum a smoke? Sorry, I only got Juul pods. Tosses you one, hacky sacks it over to you. Pow! Take a rip on that Juul pod. See how big see how fat the cloud can get. Hey, so 1350, am I right?
You know, I think you're about to cross 1.5 million followers on YouTube, and YouTube would be nuts to take that platform away from you, because it would really upset or piss off, I can say, 1.5 million people. So, you know, just like I have faith in the overall population of the country, you know, I have faith in those 1.5 million people who follow you on YouTube, and that they would pick up the phone or do something to force YouTube to make sure that you still have this platform.
YouTube platforms him because they make money off the ads he runs. What? Like what? And I don't know about for how much longer.
If you're looking for more honest and thoughtful conversations,
then come to Actual Jake's channel, where he will actually have an honest conversation with you instead of whatever the fuck that was on Dave Rubin's. Dave Rubin, dog shit. Totally dog shit. Guess what? Dave Rubin, dog shit. So, that's the end of the video. Dave Rubin is dog shit. That's the end of the video. Video is ended. Dog shit. Dave.